Before we begin our podcast, we'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land we're recording on. For Cass, it's the Borragagal people, and for Hailey, it's the Dharawal people.
After 10,000 years, I'm free. It's time to conquer Earth. Hi there, this is not Jennifer Coolidge, and that was my audition for Rita Repulsa in the new Power Rangers Gay Force. It's all full of homosexuals. Anyways, I'm not sure if I can talk about that. So in the meantime, listen to Drag Me Out Official and talk about that with your friends.
This video is not sponsored by Jennifer Coolidge or Power Rangers, but supported by a flaming Midwestern homosexual with nothing better to do at this time.
And listen to the podcast, dumbass.
Hello, welcome to Drag Me Out, episode 10. And I'm Hailey, and this crackhead is.
I'm Cass. Hi. Season 2.
Season 2.
And we're back to talking shit for however long Hailey wants this episode to go for.
Correct.
Mhm.
I'm actually going to do my week this week, just like one day, because
Okay.
I went last night to Drag Queen Bingo, run by Ellawarra and Roxee Horror, who, because they're so close, have that really good relationship, and all they do all night is just hang shit on each other. Like 61, up your bum. 54, Ella's a whore. What else was there? They did like a few little lip sync performances, and it was great. It was dinner and a show. It was great. We had so much fun. Everything was just funny. Like they would randomly do raps, and you'd have to give them a word. I think what was it? Oh, because Roxy Horror had this like floral dress on, and Ella's like, "You look like my auntie Beryl," and then she's like, "Oh, let's get Roxy to do a rap," and then someone yells at, and she's like, "Pick a word," and someone goes, "Beryl." She's like, "My name is Roxy, and I dress like Beryl. Look at her over there. Ella is feral," or something like that. It was very good. I recommend it. It's at the Illawarra Brewery. I hate that word.
It's bullshit.
It's the worst word ever. Illawarra Brewery in Wollongong, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. We went at 6:30 and had food. Look, the food wasn't great. They admitted to us that they didn't have a chef, which was very confusing because the only thing they fucked up was the salad for my mum. It was a beetroot feta walnut salad. Did not have beetroot or feta in it.
So you just got a bowl of nuts?
Basically. And then
Nice.
so she sent it back, and she got canned beetroot with some feta, and then she sent it back again for the third time because there was no dressing on it. And then he came out and he did refund us for her meal because my meal was fine. But he's like, "Oh, super sorry, we actually don't have a chef on." And I'm like, it's a salad. You don't really need to cook anything. You just put stuff in a bowl. So that was confusing, but whatever. I'm still going to eat there because at the end of the day, they're going to see people come to eat, play bingo, and spend money on drinks. And then they're going to allow Roxy and Ella to continue to do it if it's popular. Like it was packed out. You got to book a table. It was packed out. They had a really great table. It was right in front of their balls.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the bingo balls as well. And yes, we had a lot of fun. Highly recommended. And we're going again in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And Cass and I will both be going. So yeah.
Yes.
And Ellawarra did tell me that she is going over to LA to help Beverly Kills because they mentioned her name, and I'm like, oh my God, I love Beverly Kills. She's amazing. And she's like, she's such a rhymes with funt. And I'm like, why? And she goes, oh, she's making me go over to DragCon and help her. So I just bought my tickets to LA, and then I come back and I do Sydney Drag Expo, and then Roxy was supposed to do a booth with her, but Roxy's got her sister's wedding on the same day. or the same
Ah,
weekend.
right.
She
Yep.
can't do the booth with her, but her booth's right next to Beverly Hills. She showed me on the map where they were, and then I showed her on the
Mhm.
map where we were, and she's like, "Oh, fun! Like, I'd love to come on, love to." I gave her my business card, but I was like, "It's gonna change.
It's going to change.
We've updated it now." But yes,
Yes. For those who are listening and watching, we have rebranded over the week
yes.
to make ourselves look a little bit more profesh.
Well, it was more like the logos were just whipped up because we need something then and there, and
Yeah.
then we didn't really need to address it until now when we sort of were like, "Yeah, let's get serious. Let's do it."
Yeah.
So yeah, so I still have musings, but we'll see how your week was first.
I just had a regular kind of week. So I'm supposed to go into the office twice a week. So I did that. Every now and then I duck down for a cigarette and I see random people on the street. Last week, was it last week or the week before where we had that like nearly 40-degree day in Sydney?
The week before.
You're right. I went outside for a cigarette and I was just minding my own business and life was passing me by. Trams were passing me by. We have trams in Sydney. And I hear this, "Don't worry, it's only for today. It's only going to be hot today. You're going to be okay." And I'm like, is that my inner voice talking to me?
Are you my
And
conscience?
when I turned around, it was some guy who obviously had mental health issues, but at the same time, it kind of amused me too. So there are all of these lovely flower beds along the street where my office is, and they're spread apart like every 2 meters, and they've got lovely like perennial flowers coming out of them and everything. And he was going to each one of the flower beds and telling the flowers that everything was going to be okay.
Aw.
Today is the only hot day. It's okay.
Aw,
It's
that is
okay.
actually
And I was
adorable.
like, that's very sweet. But then, so this week, I went outside for a cigarette and it was raining a little bit. So that was what, Tuesday, I think it was. And I see, I'd like to say old mate. He wasn't old, but old mate walking down the street carrying his, pulling along his suitcase.
Mhm.
And he's wearing shorts and a t-shirt and a pair of runners. Guy wouldn't have been anything more than about 35 years old. And he stops across the tram lines from me, and then he takes his shirt off. And no, sorry, he puts the suitcase down and then he takes his shirt off,
Mhm.
and then takes his shorts off,
Mhm.
then rumbles around in his underwear in the middle of Sydney, rummaging around in his suitcase for fresh, dry clothes, puts them on, feels better about himself, doesn't have an umbrella anywhere because as soon as he walks out from under the awning, he cops it again with the rain. And I'm like, is this going to be like every street? So there was that. And then there was the puppy not well. And it was just one of those regular type way. Although today, I just remembered. So today, I live across the road from a school, and I'm allowed to live across the road from a school. I'm not on any lists anywhere. And I walked out, and there's a laneway behind our apartment block. And as I walked out, as you walk out of the elevator to walk up our garage to leave to go into the laneway,
Mhm.
you can see the parts of the laneway as you're going out. And as I come out of the elevator, I can hear these school kids, and they're a little bit more raucous than normal. And I'm like, I wonder what that's about. And as I start to walk closer, you see more of the laneway, and there's 3 kids in the laneway, and 2 of them are beating up on this other kid. So I open the door really quickly and I go, "What are you doing?" Like this. And they just go, but they continue to beat the kid. But as I'm starting to have a go at them, this woman, parent, walks down, hears me having a go at them, recognizes the children and goes to me, "Don't worry, love, I know these kids," and grabbed all 3 of them basically by the scruff of the neck and dragged them back up to the school. And I was like, that's cool, but at the same time, I wonder if they do that all the time in the laneway. I wonder if there's like poor innocent kids getting beaten up in my back lane.
Well, if you're gonna do it, you do it in an alleyway.
Well, you do, but you don't do it when grumpy 48-year-old is going down for a smoke.
Yeah, no, not on.
No. So I mean, I didn't really have that much of a week. I mean, I'm in the downtime because I got the surgery coming up in 9 days.
Mhm.
So I don't really want to do anything or go anywhere in case I get COVID, because I don't want to get COVID
Mm.
before, because then we have to postpone the surgery, and I don't want to do that because I'm running out of painkillers.
I don't think
Um,
COVID exists anymore. Just saying.
no,
I don't think it's a
apparently
thing.
not. Apparently not. But yeah. So yeah, but even if you do test positive for anything that resembles COVID, they postpone your surgery. I mean, I've got really nothing planned until then. I got lots of plans for when I'm laying in bed doing nothing.
Mhm.
Lots of plans. But yeah, no, that was my week.
Okay.
Simple.
Should just preface this with, when we say old mate, it's just usually a random person. It's not because they're old, it's not because they're young. It's just like that person over there is old mate. I'll even do it for females. I'll be like,
I
old
do
mate.
too.
Yeah, like I don't, it's just when it's because I have written down what happened to me this week, and it was an old mate. I have written down old mate. I was at my job
Mhm.
and old mate comes up to me. He was sort of following behind me, and it was like he was dragging along a suitcase. So it was making that noise. I'm like, who's following me? Anyway, so I kind of half turned around. And he's like, oh, like, what do you do? So I told him what I did. And then he's
Mhm.
like, oh, that's a man's job. I was like, oh, is it? Do I have to operate the controls with my penis? He's like, kind of looked at me. And he's like, what? And I'm like, never mind, mate. I'm like, really? Like, the misogyny is real. He was like
Mhm.
65. So I let it
Mhm.
slide. I was almost going to like put on a really deep voice and be like, I am a man. But,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, old
Never,
mate.
never assume, sir.
So, my musings.
Yes, please.
I watched someone on Facebook Reels tell me that hiccups is a trait that we picked up by evolving from fish. And when you have the hiccups, to get rid of them, you must convince yourself you aren't a fish. Works every time. Now, I hadn't been able to test that theory until today. I
Mhm.
hiccuped and I was
Mhm.
like, in my head, I said, I'm not a fish. I'm not a fish. I did not get another hiccup.
No way.
So you test it out when you get hiccups.
Mhm.
Let me know how you go because it's fascinating. I could have just had one hiccup and it could have been a coincidence, but I'm definitely going to keep continuing to do this. So that was one of my,
I am not a fish.
not a fish. Just convince yourself you're not a fish.
I'm not a fish.
Not a fish.
Not a fish.
Works every time, apparently.
Works like a charm.
So the other thing, these two things, I don't know what they mean. I also don't care. So how do 3D printers work? Do you put sheets of plastic in and it like prints the sheets of plastic? See, I don't care, but I don't want to know. My thoughts were, how do 3D printers work? That was my thought. But then
Isn't
I
it
also,
like a thin roll of plastic?
I don't know because I don't want to Google it because I don't care that much. But when something was printing something, I was like, how do they work? And then I moved on to the next thought.
Right.
Like that was it. That was my thought process. Anyway, the other one is when someone says that a planet has like so many moons, I have no idea what that means. And I also don't care because I've tried to educate myself in that area. It still doesn't make sense to me. But I also don't care. So, because if I get that information, then I'll probably forget something important. So, yeah, those were my musings this week. Things that I don't care about, but I also don't know and I don't want to Google.
Just regular stuff, really.
Yeah, pretty much. My thoughts go to weird
Yeah.
places.
No shit.
At least I can
Yeah.
express them now. Because I was like listening to podcasts. I'm like, how many people can have like experiences with people? And then when you do something like this, you become hyper aware of everybody around you
Mm.
as opposed to just walking through and ignoring people. And then people are fascinating, like in a stupid way as well. Like people are fascinating.
Oh,
Anyway.
100%. Yeah. But we used to watch people for a living. We know how stupid people are.
Yeah, no, stupid. People are stupid.
We also know how fascinating people are. My dude with the flower beds. Weird, but cute.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
What does that mean? Like, what does it actually
Bless-
mean?
Okay, so bless your heart. I don't know the exact meaning, but I do know that in parts of the United States, Midwest to South, I think, bless your heart is actually a sarcastic way of going, you stupid idiot.
Okay, because I watched Ginger Minge's comedy special, Bless Your Heart.
Mhm.
And then she said, but I must have missed it. She said, oh, bless your heart. And then everyone laughed. And I was like, I don't get it. Okay, that makes sense now.
It's
funny now.
a sarcastic thing. Yeah. It's a sarcastic thing. When like here someone does something stupid, you go, oh, Anya.
No, I don't think I've ever said that.
Well, you haven't lived.
I'll try it this week. Let you know how I go.
Yeah. Or
No,
if
I
someone
just-
drops something and they go, taxi. Have you ever heard that one?
Yeah, like especially glass smashing.
Yeah.
Taxi.
Yeah.
Or like
you
when like I'll do something and my husband will make fun of me and he'll be like, and I'm like, yeah, because I'm the stupid one. Look at your face.
So when he does that, next time you just turn around and go, bless your heart.
Bless your heart. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Because have you ever heard me like something silly will go on? I'll go, oh, bless.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Same
a way
thing.
of shortening it. Yeah.
You stupid twat.
Bless.
On that note, let's take a break and hear from our sponsors.
Now, a quick word from our unsponsored sponsors.
Do you want to go to sleep with a different celebrity every night? Do you ever think of smothering someone, but your pillow is too basic? Then we have the perfect pillowcases for you. Hero Huggers by Rennie. Hero Huggers by Rennie encourages testing on animals. According to the scientists at Drag Me Out University, they have proven results that people who purchase Hero Huggers by Rennie improve their sleep by 83.768%. Phones are ringing off the hook with orders, so get yours now. Or alternatively, go to Hero Huggers by Rennie on Etsy. Sleep soundly knowing your heroes are right next to you. Hero Huggers by Rennie, where heroes lie. No animals were harmed during the making of this commercial. No one at Drag Me Out official has a science degree, but they have watched things about Scientology. No research has been done to support these statistics except our own biased opinion. Pillow not included.
Yeah,
For
please.
those of you that are listening, we are actually sitting in Kath and Kim's kitchen, not the actual kitchen, because there's a reason for that. Because we're waiting for Telstra. Those of you who have not seen Kath and Kim, get on that right now. You're missing out. You haven't lived unless you've watched Kath and Kim. Anyway,
Oh, my pancreas.
we lost internet on the first really hot day. And I called them when I got home. And basically I got told, oh, you have a Generation 3? Apparently they do this. They just stop working. It's only less than 6 months old. They just stop working. So I'm like, okay. So they're like, look, we'll send you a new modem. It's covered by us. You don't have to pay anything. I'm like, I'm not paying anything anyway, but go on. And I'll give you extra data on your phone. That was gone. 10 gigs was gone in like, I don't know, 3 hours because my kids just suckle the internet out of it. So it said they take 3 to 5 business days. Fair enough. Whatever. You can't move mountains. Just keep propping up my data. So I called them. Didn't arrive by Friday. So this is the Tuesday that I called them. Didn't arrive by Friday. So that's 4 days. So I thought, I'll give them a call. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, technically 3 days, because it wouldn't have been processed until the day after. So I just give them a call. I'm like, look, I haven't received an email saying where it is. I haven't got a tracking number. I haven't got anything. Like, let me know. And she's like, oh, no, it's placed. It should arrive on Monday. I'm like, okay. Whole weekend, no intranet. Nothing. That's nothing. Well, we got stuff on our phone, but we got nothing. So on Monday, I didn't receive it. And I think I was like super tired working, just didn't give a shit about it. So I didn't call them. So I called them on the Tuesday. Then I get, I'm going to call him Krishna. I think that was his name, Krishna. And my husband was home and I said, you need to take this because you need to be a Karen. So he took the phone and I'm like, I need to leave the room because this makes me physically uncomfortable while you do this. But I want all my data back and I want to find out where their modem is. And I want compensation. So he's on the phone to Krishna. I'm in another room, so I kind of hear some of the conversation, but I had to have a shower. It just made me physically uncomfortable to be in the room whilst he not yelled, but like said, no, that's not actually good enough. Like internet is an essential thing. Like nowadays, I would say you can't do anything without it. And so they actually told us that, oh, there's a technical error. So the order didn't get put through. So you have to wait an extra 3 to 5 days. And my husband's like, no, you can overnight that. Like, we're not waiting an extra 3 to 5 days. And then apparently the maximum they can put on your phone is like an extra 10 gig. So it arrived on Thursday because I could upload then. It was just taking forever. Like it took 12 hours and I think it was like 45%. I'm like, this is just not, I'm just going to have to wait till the internet comes. So eventually it did show up. But now they want the old box. They want me to go to the post office, send it back to them.
What for?
I don't know. I just sent them an email saying you'll receive it in 3 to 5 business days. You
And then when they
fuckers.
don't get it, you go, there's a bit of a technical issue.
I had a technical issue on that.
Technically, I didn't want to go to the post office.
No, I don't want to go to the post. Who wants to go to the post office? Fucking hate the post office.
Go to the post office.
No, but I do
one
actually
wants
have to go there for something else. So if I'm in the vicinity and I remember, then I'll do it. If not, it'll be a technical error. So anyway, Telstra, it pissed me off.
Fair enough.
I want to be compensated for my loss of internet for a week and a half. I spent way too much time with my children. Not on. And I'm probably going to get in trouble from work from using their internet at home. Whatever. Eat a dick, Telstra.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart, Telstra. Just bless it.
So yeah, do you remember what your pancreas is yet?
I kind of do. We're going back in time to pancreas burstings of the past. Because I feel now that I'm a public transport user.
Right.
Hang on, let me get comfortable because I know you're going to edit that out.
No.
I'm sitting on a blanket, a little thing, so my bum doesn't get cold on the leather seat. And it was getting uncomfortable. The problem was that not only was it getting uncomfortable, but it was bunching right up into my crack. So I was waiting for you to finish. Say hi, Finny. Hi, Finny. Hi, Finny. Papa. Say hi, Papa. Do you want to say something into the microphone? This is poor little sick boy.
Right. Fuck you, Finny.
Go
You
on.
just keep barking at me. It's karma.
Okay. All right. So my pancreas.
Yes.
So where I have to get the bus home, near Wynyard Station, there's basically a road that's just bus stops the whole way. I can get one of about 15 buses, but the bus that I want, which is the one that goes directly in front of my apartment, is a specific bus stop. But there are 4 different buses that leave from that stand in particular, which is fine. So what happens is you stand up in line, and if it's not your bus, you take one step back. I've watched them do it, and I've started to do it too. You take one step back if it's not your bus that's pulled up. So the people who need to get on that bus move down, but you retain your spot in line.
Right. Yep.
Right. So what happens is, and what's been happening, and I've been calling people out on it now because I'm pissed with it, is someone comes running up, sees that it's not their bus, joins that line when they go, oh, this is not my bus, just take the step back in front of you. So
Oh,
they're
no.
in queue in front of you.
Yeah, that's not on.
And the other day, I actually found myself going like this. It was a woman in her 40s or 50s, old bitch. I mean,
Old mate.
old mate. And I said to her, I said, excuse me. And she goes, yeah. And I said, that's not your bus? And she goes, no. And I said, so have you bothered to wonder what the three of us are doing standing in line? And she said, oh, mine's the next bus. And she said, I said, yeah, that's my bus. And you've just jumped in front of me in front of the queue. So how about you go to and I said it, and I felt really proud about myself because I insulted her and was actually in context at the same time. I went, you need to get down to the far queue. The far queue. That way. And she was like, oh, but and I went, no, because we've all done the right thing here. And we've taken a step back so everybody can get through. We know that our bus is the next one to come through. That's why we're standing here. And even the guy who was third in line, I was fourth in line. She's cutting in between me and the guy who was third in line. And even the guy who was third in line goes, you do this a lot. And I thought he was talking to me at first. And I'm like, I've never seen you before in my life. But he actually said it to the woman. He goes, you do this a lot. So she must be a regular, frequent flyer.
Regular queue jumper. You know how we feel about our queue jumpers. Call her Helen. Helen, the queue jumper.
But this also goes in line with my other big fucking problem with the general public and public transport. Because on the Tuesday, this happened on the Monday. On the Tuesday, I had to get a separate bus and then I had to jump out at a shopping center, pick up something, and then jump back onto another bus. So I get back onto the second bus that takes me to my apartment. And as I get on, there's a couple of people standing and, you know, bus drivers in particular like them to be standing a little bit away from where the driver's cabin is. And there was a woman just standing there and she was the buses have gotten weird in their layout now. So you've got, you know, your special needs seats, and then you got a couple of the seats going, and then there's a couple of single seats. Yeah, it's
I
weird.
don't catch the bus very often, so.
Well, I think. Well, this was the accordion bus.
Oh yeah,
the double thing. So she's standing there, and I wanted to get past, and I said, "Oh, excuse me, I want to get past." And she just looked at me, and I went, "Excuse me." And all she had to do was take one step to her left, and she was in where the single seat was. There was actually quite a lot of room, so people could get past. And instead of her going, "Oh, there are people getting on, I might move out of the way," she just stood in the middle of the fucking aisle. And I'm saying to her, excuse me, I'd like to get past. Excuse me. And I ended up her going like this, move. You try manners for the first 3 or 4 attempts.
100%. I try manners.
Yep.
And
But I was looking for earphones or something and she didn't have any in. So she was just being an ignorant bitch. So I'm like, move. So she moved, I would say about 3 inches to the left. And I'm like, and I went, you know what? Fuck it. Just go for it, Cass. And I barged past her. So I basically swung her around the pole into the spot where I wanted her to stand anyway as I was going through. And there was like 4 people standing behind me. And so as soon as I go past, she moves back into the spot. And this man had to do the same thing. He's like, excuse me. And I hear, can you move? What the fuck? And so we get to the second part of the bus because it's a double bus. Get to the second part of the bus. The stupid bitch has been standing there the whole time. The rest of the bus is empty. This is why I don't like public transport.
But this is why I don't like people.
Well,
our public transport system would be fucking phenomenal if we had
there
no
was
people.
No one on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You should have seen during COVID, our on-time running, 100%.
100%.
No one was catching public transport. It was dead.
Yeah, well,
All
we used
our
to stand outside.
issues, like 95% of our issues, people.
Mhm.
Back to these fucking people. People who run with their coffee cup and the doors get shut anyway. If you had time to go get a coffee, you
You
had
had time to
time
be on
to
time for
be
the
there
bus.
on time. I'm sorry, but they're going to leave without you because you will be the first person to whinge that your bus is not on time. Why?
Mhm.
Because they're having to wait for every fucker who needs to stop and get their coffee. Leave earlier.
Yep.
Don't be a dick.
100%.
Fuck
Yep.
you, coffee runners. Also, it gives me joy when you fall.
Pancreas bursted.
I watched this woman. I was outside my office having a cigarette, and they're doing a little bit of construction, and they've got this little step thing that's going over some piping. And I watched this woman. She's on a phone, walking down the street. I watched her, and I'm like, "You're a fucking offender." And as I was thinking it to myself, tripped straight over it. Yes.
We
This
got
is
one.
what happens when you walk with your phone.
Dumb
Yes,
walking,
go
it's
on.
called.
Oh, the people who catch public. I know that I'm now a public transport catcher, but I worked on public transport as well, so I know how to actually like catch and travel on public transport. There are some people. These people have been catching public transport a lot longer than I have. I've only just got back into it after decades of not catching it, and even I know how to catch a fucking bus.
Anywho, oh my god, I'm excited to talk about episode 11, season 15.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
I'm excited to talk about it too. You know, normally I watch the episode 2 or 3 times so I can converse on it like an intelligent person.
Mm-hmm.
I only watched it the once. I still may be able to talk on it like an intelligent person.
Watched it twice, only because the first time I was just excited to watch it, but then I was doing other things. So
Mhm.
watched it twice. Second time I made notes. Where in the last previous episode, at what point did someone tell Lucy LaDuca that she came in second?
I don't remember.
I don't feel that she did. I don't feel that
I
she.
don't feel that she did either. Can I just say, Lux, London, Noir can go fuck herself.
I think that the only reason that she's doing this is because she knows that Lucy's going to bite, for starters, and she's trying to get into people's heads. Why?
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about her confessional, where she believes that she's the top. And she thinks she's fantastic and all of that. I sat there, and when I watched that, my mum was here and my wife, and we were watching, and I just turned around and I went, normally I may not like somebody, but that's just the persona, and we find out that they're really lovely people in real life. I don't believe that actually is the case with this one. I think that she's going to be one of those ones that if you met her, you're going to be turning around going, don't like her.
Or
Don't like her.
like she won't even acknowledge you.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I feel ya. Don't like her.
Big problem with her. Big, huge.
So then this episode was the comedy, not the roast. It was just the comedy couples.
It's comedy challenge.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the mini challenge, Anitra won. Very well deserved. Sasha Colby
Correct.
was up there. She did a good little runway dance.
Yes.
Which Anitra won the lineup, which I thought was interesting because she didn't pick the partners, like which I thought would be the prize for that. And the picking of the partners became random.
Yeah.
So it was Lucy and Lux. And then, oh my God, Selena's confessional as soon as Lucy and Lux got paired together. And she's like, wait a second, weren't they just fighting?
Yeah. I've got to say, Selena's confessionals in this episode, primo pristino.
I love
Like,
her.
nailed the confessions this episode. They were so good. But one of the problems that this was my thought process. So when we found out that Anitra was going to be teamed up with Sasha, I went like this. I went, oh God, one of them's going to go home. That was my first thought.
Oh, I can't remember. What did we predict last week? We predict that Marsha was going, right?
Yeah. But I think you may have predicted Anitra in
Oh,
that.
I think I did mention Anitra.
Yeah. I had Selena redeeming herself this week, which she kind of did because her confessionals are great.
Let's face it, it was the best of the worst. Like it, because there had to be a winner, but I think that they all should have been lip syncing for their life. To be honest, I didn't find Lux and Lucy that funny. They were just funnier than the other ones. It just seemed weird. Like, I'm like, why is this not funny? No, I didn't laugh at anything.
The thing that disappointed me the most was Anitra and Sasha, when they knew that they were in trouble, they just went to trying marijuana jokes.
Or the whole Laganja thing. That just was really strange.
It was so weird, and it really disappointed me. I love both of them, and I still idolize Sasha Colby, but I was just sitting there going, oh my God, you're not funny. Why are you not funny? You're not even making me chortle. Like, why?
I didn't laugh at all. I didn't find any of them funny.
But then there was the shady bit where you could steal a partner away from someone.
Yes.
So what happened was she chose Mistress, leaving Marsha on her own.
That's what I mean. Like Marsha was paired with Mistress. And then Selena said
she did the steal.
Yeah.
I'm taking Mistress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I didn't think Marsha did that badly. What's happening? Are you seeing?
I just bumped the crap out of my elbow.
Didn't hear it.
No, but you got to see it when you're editing. You got to see the whole screen go. Going.
So I didn't think Marsha actually did that badly. It's just like her first part of her joke was all right, and then she just couldn't hit that punch. Like it's like comedy is really hard. Like getting that comedic timing is, takes years of practice. And let's face it, none of them are comedians.
We still haven't got the timing yet.
Don't ever claim to be a comedian. I'm funny and I'm funny looking, but I'm not a comedian. That's for sure. I'm more funny off the cuff than I would be to like sit down and write jokes. Sit down and write jokes is probably one of the hardest things you could possibly do. Oh my God, Lux, when she's like, I've never done stand-up, but I'm just funny sometimes.
No, sweetheart. No. Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Anitra and Sasha, canned bits weren't funny. Laganja was weird. And then the pot jokes just made it. Selena and Mistress story was too long and it wasn't funny. The punchline wasn't funny. Yeah. I don't understand how Lucy and Lux. What do they see in Lux? I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it. And finally, Lucy shared a win. So maybe she went fucking bitch next week.
No, she'll bitch because she didn't get the win outright.
Oh, I know.
I didn't get it outright. It should have just been me. They should have judged us individually. So then it comes down to the bottom two who were Marsha, and our girl Anitra, and scared me a little bit. Selena S titties when Anitra did that move of jumping over and said Free Willy.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was the funniest thing ever. That was funnier than the whole comedy show.
Right, right. She
Really?
should have won the challenge. She should have won the challenge just on that one comment. Um,
Oh.
and so we said goodbye to Marsha, as we both predicted. However, I will actually go on record as saying that it should have been a double save.
100%. I totally agree.
It
100.
was
Actually,
it was so good.
I wrote down, like in my notes, should have been a double save.
Should have been a double save. It was so good.
The only reason that I think it's not is because Marsha's
Yeah,
not
go ahead.
really showing much growth to begin
No.
with.
No.
And yeah, it should have been a double save. I
It should have been
totally
a double
agree.
save.
And they should have grabbed Lux down there and been like, actually, you're going home. Bye.
Yeah.
But
So next week, because I know you like to ask this stuff.
yes.
Next week is the Rusical.
I do like that episode.
Set in the small town of West Bumtuck, where drag is outlawed and an underground alliance forms to try to defeat the bigots. Country musician Orville Peck guest judges.
So, okay. Predictions.
Wait, before we go to the predictions,
Mm-hmm.
another shout out to Zach, because Zach we like to do a little bit of a message session after we've both watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Zach pointed something out, and when he pointed it out, I think it's relatively true.
It's actually not Zach. It's actually not Jennifer Coolidge.
It's not Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah,
right. As I like to refer to her, J. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Right? J. Cool, not J. Cool, likes to pointed out that when they have the viewing party at Ross, they have two people who are contestants in the season who are still going, and he's noticed that one of them is always one that leaves. Because last week was Marsha, and somebody else from season 15. And this week is Sasha Colby and Lux London Noir. And it just seems to be, and it's purely coincidental, that the trend seems to be that one of them is someone who stays that episode and one who sort of goes that episode.
Okay.
So next week, like the next episode, Roscoe's is having Sasha Colby and Lux London Noir.
Well, I already put Lux in the bottom anyway, but
same. I think her time is up, and I think she might be up against Anitra. I think Anitra might be in the bottom again. Either that or who's left who wouldn't be good in a Rusical?
Selena.
That's the other possibility.
And I'd only say maybe because she let them down on the runway.
Possibly.
I've noticed her runways are like slowly not.
They're not slowly deteriorating. They haven't been great to begin with. Although some of the ones that we like.
Yeah, I liked her first couple outfits because she had like her own little style and I kind of liked it. But
yeah, her drag's just not as elevated as the others. But I mean, Spanky Jackson won.
I'm going to put Lux down the bottom. And I think I'm going to put Selena down the bottom. I think that Marsha would have killed this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
It's kind of sad that they sent her home before a challenge that she could probably win. So, yeah. So I think Lux. See, Lux and Selena. I think Lux might go because her lip syncing skills are crap. We've seen them all lip sync. And Selena turned it out.
I'm just going back to 3 people lip sync. She was in the middle. She was in white, and no one paid attention to her. And this is just a thing. Like, there is some people. Feel free to judge me if you want to, because I'm judging this person, but I'm not finding, and maybe it is the edit. I don't know, but I'm not finding. Even in anything, I'm just not finding any redeeming qualities to this person.
Like Mistress is shady, but it's like not mean.
there's also some humanity there, though.
Yeah. No, I'm
You
not a fan
know.
of Lux. So she thinks the shit don't stink, and I'm over it.
So yeah, let's get Lux. I'll start a petition. Get Lux out. Get Lux out. I think I did this earlier with get Jax out. Get Jax out. Get Lux out. Get Lux out. I can't with her anymore.
I agree.
I just,
I'm with ya.
yeah. No. So yeah, I want you to go. If it's the thing is, if Zach's theory is, if not Jennifer Coolidge's theory is correct, if it's not Lux, it's Sasha.
No, I don't think so. She can dance and she can perform. I think this is right in her element. I'm picking probably it'll be top 2 Lucy and Sasha.
Mhm.
I think they'll be in the top 2 depending on who wins. I don't know.
I'm going to change my answer, please, if that
Mhm.
pleases the judges.
Yes, go.
I'm going against you, and I'm putting Lucy in the bottom with Lux.
Okay.
I think that this actually may be a major stumbling thing for Lucy. I don't know why. I just, as you were talking about it, I just had this thing in my head going, maybe Lucy's in the bottom, and it's not Anitra. So I'm putting Anitra safe, Lucy in the bottom against Lux. Lux going home.
And you can have
Mind
your
you-
opinions. Like, they're
Mind
generally
you-
wrong, but you can have your opinions.
Yeah. Mind you, if Lucy doesn't pull the tricks out, because apparently she's got a lot of tricks, but you saw the cartwheel, right?
Lucy Susan Lucci. Back off. You're actually really annoying.
So, yeah, that's it is what it is. So I want you to go, Lux. See you later. And then I actually rewatched our episode last week for quality purposes. I'm not even hiding the fact. For quality purposes, and I said her name wrong 3 times. I called her, because it's Lux London Noir, isn't it? I called her Lux Noir London about 3 times last episode.
No, I thought it is Lux Noir London.
Isn't it? Whatever it is, whatever her actual name is, I said it wrong.
All right.
I know I did.
I thought it was Lux
I know I
Noir
did.
London. Still haven't watched The Drover's Wife. Sorry, Shazza. I don't want to.
Sorry, Shazza. We can't do depressing.
Yeah. Like,
we've tried. I've actually seen it. I can't do depressing again. I can't
see,
do it.
if you've watched it and you don't want to watch it again, I'm like, I feel like I'm not missing out on anything. I need happy.
It's a good movie.
Look, I
It is
don't
a very
doubt.
good movie.
I
but
don't doubt that it is.
There are just some things. I mean, we've basically agreed that we're not going to do the movie reviews anywhere near as much as we did because it was every week.
So, are we going to choose a movie for next week? I feel that we should. We've done a movie review in about 3 weeks now.
Yeah, you're right. Hang on. Hold, please. Okay, so this week we're going to do movies again. We're going to do a movie review. And Hailey, this week's movie is Late Night with Emma Thompson and Mindy Kaling on the Netflix.
On the Netflix.
On the Netflix. It was actually, interesting fact, it was the last movie my wife and I watched at the movies before we had to go into COVID lockdown.
Okay. I think I was like planning on going to see that and then everything happened.
Late Night.
Because we're in COVID season 4 now and I'm kind of over it. Like it just hasn't been running very well.
No. It gets shit ratings and still continues on.
So I guess it's time for my segment.
Yes, please. Can you please do your segment for us? What she done be doing?
What she done be doing?
What she done be doing?
So
you got
for this week, I chose Phoenix, who is obviously a drag queen, but she is from RuPaul's Drag Race season 3, and she was eliminated second, placing 12th overall.
Mhm.
So her drag mother was Nicole Page Brooks, who
From
had
Atlanta,
previously
Georgia.
competed on the show. Coincidentally, both got eliminated at the same time. Episode 2. Since then, like Phoenix had been doing drag for about 10 years prior to her season on Drag Race. And since then, she did an appearance in Teen Wolf in 2012, which I like. And then, which I don't remember her, so I want to go back and see and watch that episode. So Phoenix is the third contestant in the franchise to win a mini challenge on the episode. She got eliminated after Jade and Mystique in season 1 and 2. In the comment section of her Instagram post in December 2022, Phoenix hinted that she might be open for doing All Stars. So we may see her again. So I reached out to Phoenix just to see, as I reach out every time. Sometimes I don't answer. And she actually answered, and it was like almost right away. So I basically just said, hey, I'd love to hear what you're doing. Like, I'd never ask, like, be on our podcast. Like, it's just, I just answer a couple questions and I'll put it in the podcast. Anyway, she's like, hi, I'd love to chat. All right, that's so great. Thank you so much. I see you have a very successful production company, which she does. And I asked if she was planning on coming down to Australia anytime soon. She goes, I have my production company, Phoenix Entertainment. So I create and produce different types of shows all over Atlanta and around the country. I'm also the entertainment director for a large dance club cabaret in Atlanta called Future. I'm still traveling to Drag Race and also traveling performing at circuit events. I don't know if that's supposed to be circuit events throughout the country. Besides performing, I also manage myself along with other Atlanta-based entertainers. I plan to launch a website soon to dive more into the management side of things. I want to represent more entertainers that are not from Drag Race, but still deserve some type of representation. Addition to all of that, I've also worked as a makeup artist for film and television. So as you see, I've kept myself very busy. She says, I don't have any plans to visit Drag Expo as of now, but I've never been to Australia and it is a dream destination for me. And I basically said, that's what we're trying to do. Like, we're trying to give representation to local drag queens, and we'd love to have you on our podcast. But obviously, you know, you're busy, time difference. From our previous interviews, I can't work out time difference apparently. So who knows? But, you know, it's in the cards. We have so many other drag queens that we're trying to organize to get on, and, you know, everyone's busy, and
Especially with Expo coming up.
Yeah, Expo's coming up, and it's hard to work around. Like, as we're still working full time, it's hard to work around just not only someone else's schedule, but even our own schedules between us two.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my what she done be doing. She's got 25K followers on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is Phoenix_ATL. Oh, no, sorry. No underscore. Take that back. It's Phoenix space ATL. I'm guessing ATL is for Atlanta. And that's where she's based. But yeah, give her a follow. We'll tag her in this episode. Maybe she'll watch. Maybe she won't. She actually followed us on Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you, Phoenix,
Thank you,
Atlanta.
Phoenix. And I really would
into
like
it.
to see you in All Stars in the future.
Same. We should try and get her on for a chat.
We should try. It's just
The fact that she's answering is good.
oh, 100%. She seems very active on social media.
So there's no harm in trying, right?
Of course. I think it's a more like send us your schedule and we'll judo chop something in.
We'll make something happen. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, I got some stuff on.
Yeah, I saw that.
I filled it.
You did some search on the interwebs.
I went head first into it. I really did.
Balls deep.
I did. So Maxi Shield going to at the Fusebox Factory Theatre for the Sydney Comedy Festival from the 27th to the 30th of April in her production of The Whole Tit and Caboodle. I'm looking forward to it. I actually looked it up. I'm trying to find out if it's seated. If it isn't, tickets are only like $23 or something. I don't know if it's seated or not. Anyway, we also have Ellawarra and Roxee Horror in Drag Queen Bingo every Thursday at the Ellawarra Brewery, 7 p.m. As Hailey said earlier in the episode, brewery. We also have Roxee Horror and Ellawarra present Wigs on Wentworth at the Vault on the 25th of March at 6 p.m. Slayer on Saturday with Maxi Shield at Oxford. Shows are at 8 and 9 p.m. We've got Drag Bingo at Lambton Park Hotel, 28th of March, hosted by Tim Berlina. Drink and Draw with the Drag Queen with our wonderful, the fabulous Wonder Mama, 31st of March at Rhodes, 28th of April at Drummoyne. Kath and Kim Drag Bingo with Prada Clutch and Conchita Grande, 22nd of April at North's Camaret, 29th of April at Wendy Leagues. I'm Queer, Get Into It, 10 p.m. Universal with Space Horse, Eli Crawford and Tina Bickey. We've got more than one Melbourne show. Here we go, Melbourne shows. Every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m., we have the Drag Trivia at Evie's Fitzroy, hosted by Avril Latrine. Drag Bingo at Molly's Bar and Diner every Wednesday with Chef Miss J and Ruby Taboo. Balls drop from 8 p.m. And Hey Annie at Circuit Thursdays from 9 p.m. with a different cast each week. The next cast coming up is Fembot XYZ, Crayola, Valencia, and Eggs on Ham. Eggs on Ham. Great drag name. Great drag name. So anyone who's listening out there who is a drag performer or knows of a drag performer where they're performing or something, please slide into our DMs and tell us so I don't have to keep looking at the internet. But I have some very exciting news for you, Hailey.
Yep.
You ready? Ready for the news?
When it stops.
We've got 28 subscribers.
Thanks to me. by the way.
28. We would like to thank everybody for listening and watching yet again. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe on the YouTubes. If you're listening to us through a podcast platform, don't forget to give us 5 stars, please, and leave us a rating, a nice rating. We're nice people. We totally deserve it. We always want to thank also, if you are an up-and-coming drag performer and you would like to have a voice out there in the universe, YouTubeverse, podcastiverse, hit us up and we're more than happy to have you on. Or even if you just give us the details of where you're performing, we're more than happy to spruik it for you. Got no problem doing that. If you just want to come and have a little bit of a chat, just in general, by all means, hit us up, man. Like, you know, you want to give us some suggestions for movies? You want to give us some suggestions on how to make this show better? We're still going to listen to it. We may not pay attention to it, but we're still going to listen to it. We may ignore it, but we're still going to listen to it because that's what we do. But we just want to thank everybody for giving us the support that we've been receiving and some of the nice comments that we've been getting, because we haven't, I mean, we got that one bad one and it was funny. We got our one hater and it was funny.
Bless
if you don't like
your
us, tell
heart.
us. Bless your heart. But if you don't like us, tell us. We're okay with it. But once again, we want to thank you. And until next week, we'll see you then. Bye-bye. Mwah.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Bum, 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 bum.